Well, good evening and Sandy Bonanni. Welcome to Breakaway F1. We are in France today. My name is Bob O'Connor. I'll be on commentary today. I cannot wait to see how this race pans out. Our drivers are making their way from their garages straight into the cockpits, getting ready to get this qualifying session underway and set alight this 19th race of this Breakaway F1 Championship. And what a season it's been. 19 out of 24 races by the end of today. We are staring down the very end of our season, and we're looking forward to another scorcher of a race. We have spoken at length about some of the fantastic resurgent performances of some of our drivers. We know, of course, who the championship protagonists are if you're a regular viewer of Breakaway F1. And if you've just joined us, you will find out pretty soon enough when these drivers start to set their hot laps and start to make an attempt on those fastest times today. We have 27 laps of racing today, and of course, in a matter of seconds, we will be seeing who exactly will be on pole position. We cannot wait to see how this race pans out. A warm welcome to you. This is Breakaway F1, and we are at Circuit Paul Ricard today for a fantastic race. Welcome if you've just joined us. If this is your first Breakaway F1 race, then hey, we welcome you with even warmer arms, if you will. Listen, it's going to be fantastic. I cannot wait for you to all experience this and see exactly what we have in store for you today. Well, some of the drivers are beginning to get ready. As you can see, the green check marks next to the likes of Titus D-Wax. And a couple more drivers to come here today. We will have a fantastic race. That we can absolutely guarantee. That is how we roll here on Breakaway F1. And we are at Circuit Paul Ricard in France. That is correct. Yes, that is right. So, warm welcome to you. This is Tier 1 of Breakaway F1, Circuit Paul Ricard, and this is the French Grand Prix. You're watching this live, and today we have our Tier 1 drivers in this league. We currently have 2 active tiers, and pretty soon we will have 3 tiers of Breakaway F1 racing. Absolutely fantastic. This is race number 19 of 24 races. Post in the comments section asking well, if you're in the comments there, of course, that is the colloquial name for one of the older models of the BMWs, very popular in South Africa. A lot of South African drivers that we have here in this league. And we are set to get qualifying and racing pretty soon out here in France. Now, Circuit Paul Ricard has an even distribution of high, medium, and low-speed corners. And this is the key reason why this track is one of the most used test circuits in the world. And the typically good weather is another. Will we have great weather today? Well, we will have to see. Now, Formula 1 drivers love the 290 kilometers per hour right-hander at Signes and the 5G joyride of the following Busselt Bend. While the circuit's 2018 return to the Formula 1 calendar showed that the French Grand Prix track can be an overtaking gem. Oh yes, what a fantastic race that would be if we see a whole lot of overtakes today. We cannot wait. 18 minutes of qualifying as Loudmouth SA says, let's go. Yes, welcome to the comments section, Loudmouth. We are here keen to hear exactly what your thoughts and impressions of this race are going to be. We absolutely cannot wait. We will now have 18 minutes of qualifying, and we will be underway pretty shortly. Now, in this Tier 1 championship, let's get a sense of how things look in the standings. In the Drivers' Championship, The superstar Sifley Langa in the Ferrari currently has 295 points, followed by Zotile in the Red Bull, 263 points, second in the championship, and Titus in the McLaren has 259 points. Mello the Mello Mercedes has 132 points currently. Lungs has 114 points, and he's in fifth place in the Red Bull. And Josh in the Alfa Romeo currently on 111 points. M. Fundo in the AlphaTauri had a fantastic race fairly recently in Russia. He currently is on 96 points. And S. Buda in the Alpine on 87 points in 8th place. Tindo is in 9th on 82 points, and the 86er is in 10th place in the championship on 63 points. The rest of the championship from P11 onwards is Selby in 11th place, Spizozo 12th. Loveness is currently 13th, D-Wax is 14th, Romeo is 15th, and Debo is 16th. Nick is 17th, Manray 18th, Bongs 19th, and Inati is currently at the bottom of the championship standings. Right, 18 minutes of qualifying. How will this pan out? We absolutely cannot wait. We will pretty soon get a sense of who will be the first to go out. As you can see, currently, seems as if Mello the Mello and Lungs and Zotile, as well as Nick, seems to be a team strategy of medium tire selection, as is Seaflay also on a set of medium tires, it seems. So, yeah, let's get this qualifying session underway, see who exactly is going to set things alight here. Now, Josh, a.k.a. Damnesia, is usually one of the first drivers out to qualify. Well, we do understand that this is one of Josh's favorite tracks. Now, Josh has had an absolutely stellar record when it comes to qualifying in this season's Tier 1 of Brakeaway, so we will see how he handles this Alfa Romeo, as the real Caboza in the comments says that medium tires are the way to go on this circuit. Absolutely scorcher of a circuit. As you can see along the sides of the track limits, it is quite generous in terms of not having those boards that you can crash into. They're quite far, so sometimes if you do spin out on this track, it's kind enough to kind of let your car survive to the pit stop if you may need that, or indeed survive to carry on racing. Damnesia currently out on an out lap. As you can see, it is a very busy track. Seaflay, the championship leader, has opted for medium tires, but their teammate Bongs is on a set of soft tires. As you can see currently, it looks like a team strategy from the likes of Mercedes and Red Bull to stick with those medium tires. Is that the way to go? Caboza seems to think so. What about the rest of you? Let us know right here in the comments. Let's go! Shouts Miss Bono from the rooftops, presumably cheering on the Red Bull. Right, one of our first runners out here is Josh, aka Damnesia. How will you handle it? And he is off. Josh will be one of the first to set a time here. Josh will be the one to lay down the gauntlet as he goes into that first set of turns, and he takes it nice and clean. No incursions on the track limits there as Josh goes, keeps it nice and steady on his favorite circuit. Into that right-hander goes Josh. Slow left-hand turn into another slow right-hander as Josh is followed fairly closely by the AlphaTauri there, but knowing Josh, he will not panic. He will keep things nice and steady and calm all the way to that finish line, hoping to set a good time. Josh is no stranger to starting pretty much at the front of the most recent grids that we have seen here, so we'll ride closely and see what things look like from Josh's perspective. We're on board here with the AlphaTauri going through the second sector, and he's now about to go through that very fast right-hander, and he handles it nice and easy. Looking for Josh here. He's going to have to slow it down over here. Oh, slightly wide, but he's going to bring it right back. He knows that AlphaTauri, I'm pretty sure you can see in the rear view mirrors for Josh, but he keeps it nice and steady. Bongs is out. Bongs in the Ferrari has crashed out, presumably in Sector 2. That's where the yellow flag is. We're on board with Josh here, seeing what kind of a time he can set. He will not be bothered too much with what is happening behind him. This is why Josh goes out first. He wants to avoid any drama of anybody crashing out. And what kind of a time can Josh set? Here it is, a 130.660 on one of Josh's favorite tracks. What a time set by Josh there. D-Wax follows that up with a 132.3 as we now see what kind of a time, what kind of a response the likes of Selby can put up here in the other AlphaTauri. As you can see, the times are starting to trickle in here. Josh is the only one. Oh, Seaflay on medium tires goes 130.731. What can Selby do here? Teammate to Josh goes P3, currently on 131.495. So whatever that was by Selby there. Let's go. Squeeze Van Kobe in the comment section. Van Kobe, who you're cheering for? Will it be Titus or someone else in that McLaren as well? Well, let us know, Van Kobe. Here comes Lungs in the Red Bull, followed closely by his teammate. What kind of a time can Lung set? Medium tires. Lung sets a 133.3, and Zotile answers with, well, Zotile is still going through that first sector. Zotile has yet to set a hot lap time, but let's see how Romeo was doing here in the Williams, going through that second sector. Seafly showing respect and getting out the way. Bankobi says in the comments that Mello will be a problem on this track. We kind of wait to see. Spyzozo is the second driver that we have lost in this qualifying session. Yet to set a time, unfortunately, Spyzozo will start from the back of the grid, as will Bongs here in France. Romeo Massingo is the one that we're watching here on a set of soft tires, making their way through that third sector, the beginning of the third sector. Here comes Romeo now, making sure to keep things nice and clean. The gauntlet has currently been laid down by D'Amnesia. That will be Josh with a 130.660 on a set of soft compound tires. But we are now watching Romeo. Let's take a closer look to see what things look like from their perspective on the final straight as he rushes towards that start-finish line. And it'll be P7 provisional for Romeo, 131.952. So not a bad time there. Josh and CK are currently the only drivers to have breached that 131 barrier. Josh on 130.6 and CK 131.7, as you can see. But we are currently going to see how Zotile fares as he sets a 130.908. The third driver into that 130 mark. Kaboza was mentioning, of course, that the Red Bulls were towing each other, giving each other that boost to make sure that those times are nice and slick, as Titus sets a 130.051, laying down the gauntlet there on a set of soft tires did Titus set there. So what an effort that is in perspective. What an effort that is by the likes of Seaflay, Zotile, and Mello the Mello, who has set a 131.185 on a set of medium tires. Van Kobe is cheering quite loudly in the comments there for Mello the Mello, saying that Mello will be a problem on this track as he comes into the pit lane here. Let us see who else might be trying to improve their time. That is quite slow by D-Wax, presumably trying another hot lap attempt now. So we'll stay with D-Wax and see how it goes here in the AlphaTauri. Well, D-Wax has had an interesting season so far as far as the championship is concerned. Currently in 14th in the championship standings is D-Wax with 44 points in that AlphaTauri. What kind of a time did you set here today? He's gone 4/100ths of a second quicker than their previous attempt here, as we see him coming through the second sector is D-Wax. And as we take a closer look, what does it look like from your perspective? You don't want to miss that braking zone, and he looks to hit it and goes nice into that chicane and keeps it absolutely clean, and he hits that throttle. Van Kobe in the comments section says, if I was in tier 1, I'd be on the top 2 as it stands. Interesting. Van Kobe with brimming with confidence, the Superstar McLaren driver who's having a scorcher of the season and is in the fight for the championship as far as the T2 is concerned. But we are watching D-Wax take this third sector, currently sitting in P8 as things stand. D-Wax will really, really want to make sure that he is as far forward as possible to take full advantage here of this qualifying session. We have just under 10 minutes to go. What can you do, D-Wax, as you stare down that final straight towards the start-finish line? D-Wax, you had 131.583. Can you improve on that, D-Wax? And, yes, he can. Marginally goes up to P7, so it goes up just one spot as things currently stand. And absolutely, well, as you can see, taking liberties on the track here as he finds his proverbial feet again, presumably to come on an in-lap. Man Ray, what kind of a time can you do? Man Ray has had an interesting week, did exceptionally well as far as the time trials were concerned, but it looks like he's definitely slowing down here. Man Ray currently outside the top 10 as things stand, taking things slow. Might be coming back into the pits, or it could be an in-lap after setting that time. Let's take a look at your grid and how things stand at the moment. We have Titus currently in provisional pole in the pits at the moment with a 1:30.051, followed closely by Josh, aka D'Amnesia, on one of his favorite tracks in P2. Seafway is currently in P3, but is looking to correct that. He's looking to do something different. As you can see, he has begun another hot lap attempt here. Zotal, provisional P4, followed by Mfundo in 5th. Mello the Mellow is currently 6th. D-Wax is 7th. Selby currently 8th. Romeo Massendo is currently 9th. Lungs is currently 10th. Also switching to a set of soft tires there. A change of tire strategy from the Red Bull car there. Man Ray currently 11th. Nick is currently 12th. And Spizoso and Bongs having crashed out of this race, of course, could not set a time, will not set a time. Tindo and Loveness still could. They're both on hot lap attempts, presumably. What can Seaflay do here on a set of soft tires? Seaflay likes nothing less than starting as far forward as possible. He likes nothing less than starting on pole position. And he's been accustomed to that, of course. It's been a hell of a scrap between him, Zotal, and Titus for those pole positions throughout the season. He's been one of the superstar drivers of this season. But what does it look like from your perspective? Seaflay Langa takes it nice and easy there. Make sure not to miss that braking zone into this left-hander now. He has to go easy on the throttle here into this final turn. Staring down this final straight, he has a lot of time to make up for, a lot of time to potentially gain, and it will be P1, the first driver to breach that 30-second barrier. 1:29.795 for Seaflay. What a lap that is, what a time that is, what an effort that is from Seaflay. Tindo had, of course, just set his first time, and that puts him in provisional P5. 1:31.030, as you can see here. Well, what do you make of that? What do you make of that? Proposer says Zotal will start on those medium tires. Looks to be the case, as Zotal has not changed tires, still on that medium set, and currently on an out lap. Now, we've seen the time that Mfundo had set here. What about Tindo? What about Mfundo here? What can you do? A set of medium tires. Mfundo has also opted not to go for that set of soft tires. He probably knows that a lot more drivers will have a higher chance of setting quicker time, but Mfundo is okay with that as things stand. What can you do here? Mfundo, who has also had a notable season, currently sitting 7th in the championship. Mfundo is. Welcome to you if you've just joined us. This is the qualifying session for the French Grand Prix. This is Breakaway F1. We're at Circuit Paul Ricard. This is the 19th race of our season, and we are watching how Mfundo in that Alpha Tauri is going to do. Currently making the way, starting that third sector, and we love to take a closer view to see how he handles a little wide the slower corner, and he's going to look to make up for that slightly lost time into this. Ooh, really taking his wide, but Mfundo is definitely coming in. It's an in lap from Mfundo, but it is a hot lap, that I can say with a fair degree of certainty, from Zotal here. What can you do, Zotal? You've chosen to go with a set of medium tires. Can you improve in your 1:30.908? That will take some doing. Every driver ahead of Zotal currently had set those times on a set of soft tires. But knowing Zotal, well, he can pull a rabbit out the hat with just about 4.5 minutes to go, as that Mercedes makes way for Zotal into the start of the second sector. What does it look like from Zotal's perspective? What does it look like from a championship contender's perspective? Zotal, sector 2. He's about to go into that fast right-hander here, but he's about a 10th down on his previous best time, so that is going to be quite a difficult prospect for Zotal to possibly improve on that 1:30.908. You got a lot of work to do, Zotal, here. What can you do? One of the champions of protagonist. Oh, he kind of slightly loses it there. That'll cost him. That'll cost Zotal a lot. That'll cost him a lot. He had already last time. He decides to come back into the pit. Perhaps he will just go for that set of soft tires and change that Red Bull strategy. Well, Lungs has already done it. What can you do now, Zotile? Lungs is still in the pits. Just over 3.5 minutes to go until this qualifying session is over. Josh into another hot lap attempt here in this first sector. Of course, Josh was the first out on track. He did set the gauntlet, currently 6/100ths of a second down on their previous best, so Josh has some time to make up there. D-Wax now wriggles into the 130s, 130.686 for D-Wax. What a time that is from the AlphaTauri, who has just notched Zotile down to P6 as things stand. So, none of the drivers who are currently qualifying have chosen a set of medium tires. Josh, what can you do here as you start your third sector? What does it look like from your perspective? This is one of Josh's favorite tracks, as he was saying, as he was having a merry little chat in the paddock a little earlier on today. But what kind of a time can you set here, Josh, in third sector? And keep it nice and steady, a little bit liberal as far as the track limits are concerned. But knowing Josh, he could, well, making his way back into the pits. What do you know? What do you know? And what about you, Titus, into the third? Ooh, this sector looks like he's an entire 4/10 down on the previous time. So Titus is not playing around here. Titus looks to be going for quite a stunner, potentially. If Titus keeps this up, then he will snatch that pole position from Seaflay as things stand. Because he was definitely 4/10 down in that first sector. So what can you do here, Titus? He still remains 4/10 quicker than the previous time that he had set. So we are potentially looking at a time here which is going to set these charts alight, which is going to set these timing sheets on absolute fire. Titus, the championship protagonist, in that McLaren, currently third in the championship, but knowing Titus, he will want to have a little something to say about that. This is the 19th race of the 24-leg breakaway F1. Titus, what can you do? Staring down that final straight, you have got some time to make up on Seaflay, and Titus remains in P2, 121.798. Look at the margins between P1 and P2 as things stand. Just 1 minute to go before this qualifying session is over. Will you try and better that time, Titus? Well, we will have to see about that. Now, let's see how Mello the Mello will do. Some of you have been backing him in the comment section. Baton Kobe has said Mello the Mello will be a problem here in France. Well, Mello, let's see how you take the end of this first sector. He is slightly quicker by about 3/100ths of a second. Can he maintain this and possibly knock the top two current runners a little sideways and really knock them down by a peg or two? Well, it's all on you, Mello the Mello. You're currently in that second row, but what can you do? Looks like Josh, aka Damnesia, will not be coming out to try and better the time that they had set. Mello the Mello has lost a little bit of time there, and as you see him going into that start of the third sector, so he's got some work to do. If you're going to bother any one of Titus or Seaflay, what can you do, Mello the Mello? Let's see what it looks like. Oh, well, we see exactly what it looks like. He spins and has lost it there into that third sector. Mello the Mello has spun out, but Seaflay, can you improve in your time? Looked like you were slightly slower there, Seaflay, slightly slower than the time that you had set, than the gauntlet that you had laid down. Titus will not be challenging that time that you had set, but Zotile has knocked Mello down a peg by setting a 121.912. Zotile abandoned the medium tire strategy and came out firing on that set of soft tires. Seaflay, what can you do towards the end of this qualifying session here? We are watching you closely, the championship protagonist, scorcher of the season. What can you do, Seaflay? On the final straight, he hits it, and improves 129.774. How's that for a hot lap? How's that for pole position for Seaflay? D-Wax, what can you do in the final sector here? He's definitely gone off track, so that is definitely off the cards. Here is your grid. Seaflay qualifies in pole position here at Circuit Paul Ricard, followed closely by Titus in P2. Zotal in the Red Bull is third. Mellow the Mellow is fourth. Our top 4 championship runners are the top 4 in this race. Tindo in the McLaren fighting hard, 5th place. Damnesia Josh on one of his favorite tracks will start in 6th position. D-Wax will start in 7th. And Fundo, the teammate of D-Wax, in P8. Romeo, aka Manlo, will start in P9. Selby will start in 10th place. And outside the points currently is the likes of Manrace. Paizozo, of course, could not set a time here as far as qualifying is concerned. So a lot of work to do here. The likes of Lungs and the Red Bull opted not to improve on that time and will seemingly stick on a set of medium tires. And Nick will be in 14th place. Well, what a time. The likes of Spizoso and Bongs in that other Ferrari will start off at the back of this grid. Well, we're about to go racing here in France. But before we do, a quick word from our sponsors. Introducing Amateraga Titas. Race hard with peace of mind, knowing that no matter the compound, you have an edge over your competitors. The limited edition Titus version of the tires from Pirelli are just the push you need to make sure you push on track. Hey, I'm Titus Malim, driver on Brakeaway F1. Trust me, trust my tires. Amateraga Titas. Buy them, maybe now it was a win. Da, da, da. Well, this is Brakeaway F1. We're about to begin our race here in France, the 19th race of the season at Circuit Paul Ricard. What are your expectations? You've seen the starting grid. Our championship protagonists are very high here on the grid. As far as things stand, our championship protagonists, of course, are going to make sure that they put on a hell of a fight here. And well, I tell you what, we cannot wait. Let us know who you expect. Ben Kobe, let's see what's happening in the comments section here. Ben Kobe says 5K for anyone that can put a 127. A cheeky little potential bet on the line here from Ben Kobe. Well, it was quite a hot, quite a scorcher of a time set by Seaflay there, as you can see. So I absolutely cannot wait for how this pans out. What are your expectations for this race based on how the grid has turned out? Let us know in the comments section. And, of course, throughout the day, we would love to hear who your driver of the day is. We have just over 10 seconds to go before we get racing here in France. It is 4 lights, 5 louds, and they are out, and away we go. Seaflay has started off on pole. What kind of a start can he have here? Titus, of course, is also on those set of soft tires, and Zotal is fighting very, very hard here. He's got the inside line on Titus, but Seaflay maintains that Titus. The position from Titus, and there's been a crash. Zotal is falling further and further behind. Zotal seems to have crashed, and Fundo has got that time penalty. Damnesia is currently third, but loses that position to Tindo, who currently is hoping to somehow sandwich Seaflay at the front there. Zotal, what a nightmare of a start there, is absolutely. It seems like Zotal might have lost the wing because he slid down this grid here. Seaflay has managed to maintain that lead from Titus and Tindo, who will now have a pretty much of an advantage as we have lost Romeo and Mfundo at the start of this race. 2 drivers are out before the end of the first lap. We have a full safety car. Welcome if you've just joined us. This is a dramatic start to F1 Breakaway here in France. Seaflay holds the lead from Titus, and Tindo, who has had a hell of a fight to work his way up to P3 before the end of the first lap. Damnesia, aka Josh, is currently 4th. Mellow the Mellow has slipped. Is currently in 5th place, and Zotal is currently, as you can see, with some damage to the front wing, to the right front wing. Zotal currently sits in 6th place, having started towards Oh my word, having started so well, having qualified so well, Zotal finds himself in 6th position, now followed by Selby and D-Wax in 7th and 8th respectively rather. Bongs currently in 9th spot. Loveness in 10th, and then we have Nicholas, Bizoso, Lunds, and Manray making up the rest of this grid. We have lost 2 cars here at the start of this Grand Prix. Romeo is out, and Fundo is out, as the safety car will lead these cars towards a restart. So what a dramatic start out here in France. Lungello, you missed the start. It was dramatic. We lost Romeo. We lost M. Fundo out here. Dramatic start. Let's take a look at how things look as far as the position change at the start of this race here. As you can see, the biggest mover is Spizozo, who had to start from the back of the grid. Currently has made up 5 places, currently P10 as things stand. Nick, who was also fighting pretty much at the back of this qualifying grid, also making up 5 places. Loveness has gone 4 places up. And as you can see, Zotal, who has pitted, is currently at the back of this grid here. So, as things stand, to give you a sense, as Zotal will look to fight his way back here, and we'll have to take a look at what exactly Zotal has done as far as tires is concerned here. He has got that front wing changed. Has opted for a set of medium tires as Zotal. Now, the rest of the grid is as follows. Seafway, championship leader, in 1st place. Titus is currently in 2nd. Tindo currently 3rd. Josh is 4th. Followed by Mello the Mello in 5th place in that Mercedes. D-Wax currently 6th place. Bongs. What a start it's been from Bongs, who started at the back of the grid. I kind of missed that. Actually, 9 places gained. So Bongs, a beneficiary of the absolute carnage of that first lap. Currently sitting in P7. What a start it is there for Bongs. Loveness, you are in 8th place. Nicholas currently 9th. Spizozo in 10th place. Lungs, a lot of work to do in that Red Bull, also in the set of medium tires, as I understand, in 11th place. Selby currently 12th. Manray 13th, and Zotal is in 14th place at the back of this current grid as things stand. The safety car is out, and we look forward to racing as soon as humanly possible. Hopefully, we will not have another lap after this, so we can finally get racing. As you can see, the smoke being kicked up by those tires. Seaflay on a set of softs trying to maintain some heat here. And Kaboza says, if I was Zotal, I was keeping the medium start and extending the first stint. Well, Zotal has a lot of thinking to do. Thank you for the props for the DAP there, Luddy Tepo. We see you in the comment section here. What a dramatic start it's been here in this 19th race of Tier 1 F1 Breakaway.
Yeah, no, esto. Uzotile anyamzwele. Abona amaluzi enjoyed I think is umuserious yakho manje umuntu uluze 11 places yonke. Angazi if uzokhona ukurecover mara uzotile vele yabona makakwatile. Hayi ya drive. Maybe uzorecover. Maybe ngimbona bona P6, P5 la. Makakwatile I know. Hayi zizobuya it's coming back mozotile.
Well, Bertot seems to trust that Zotal might be able to recover here. Do you believe in the power of Zotal to have a great recovery here? Well, let us know in the comments section as we take a closer look at what things are looking like as far as tire type and tire age is concerned. Of course, we have hardly had a lap of proper hard racing, so for the soft tire runners, well, it's not so bad to save these tires under the safety car conditions. The top 6 currently have a set of soft tires, and the rest of the grid is on a set of medium running tires. If you've just joined us, welcome. This is Breakaway F1. These are our Tier 1, our top tier drivers here in this 19th race of our championship. And pretty soon we will get racing again. Pretty soon we will see exactly who will have the advantage here. The penalties are racking up. 5-second penalty for a collision for Man Ray there. Well, that is unfortunate for Man Ray, but Hopefully he can, well, make up some a collision with Man Ray. Oh, rather, Spice also has got that time penalty, so that is unfortunate for them. What a race it's been! What a start it's been here. We cannot wait for this race to get underway once again, as the safety car should be back in pretty shortly. Seaflay is now pushing it. And can you keep that lead from the likes of Titus, who will have something to say? He goes slightly off the Seaflay, and Titus making sure that he keeps on his tail. Titus, of course, will not give you an inch if you make a mistake. Titus will be on your tail, just 6 or 7 tenths between these top two runners. Seaflay knows that he absolutely cannot mess this restart up. But another big story is, as these two stretch away, Tindo is now about 2.3 seconds behind. So Tindo will look to really keep Josh, aka Damnesia, as far back as possible. What a fight that is between Tindo and Josh here. But Tindo is currently out of Josh's DRS range as things stand. This is what things look like from Josh's perspective. Tindo is really sailing off into the sunset. A lot of work for Josh to do, but he's not only thinking about Tindo in front of him, he's got Mello right on his tail. And knowing Mello the Mello, he is having a heck of a blinder trying to chase down Josh here, as we see Bongs having a hell of a fight a little further back with Loveness here. They were side by side a split second ago, but Loveness and Josh are having a fight of the ages here. We have seen Loveness in previous races of this season defending for his life, and now Loveness has the fight of his life on his hands to get that P7 position back from Bonds. And what a fight this potentially will be, as Seaflay sets a 133.857. Zotal fighting back already in 11th place, as Caboza notes in the comments. Let's see this fight between Mello the Mello and D-Wax, and Damnesia. Mello the Mello just 4/10. Look how close he is to Damnesia, to Josh there, who has a lot to think about in this race. In the 5th lap of 27, these soft tire runners, Mello the Mello and Josh, are just a handful of drivers here, a handful of the top 6, I would rather say, as Josh goes wide under pressure for Mello the Mello. Oh, Mello will not give him. The gap now is just 2/10. What can Mello do here? He can smell that inside line. He weaves. Josh is trying to weave to the left and the right, and Mello is right on his tail here. Can Mello get the inside line into this next left-hander? Not necessarily. Josh making sure that he keeps Mello the Mello at bay here. Of course, there was very, very little room on track for Mello the Mello to take full advantage. Mello has to think about D-Wax right behind him, but he is absolutely fighting for this P4 place from Josh, who is giving nothing away currently on one of his favorite tracks we must be absolutely aware of. So this battle will play out, and let's go back to this absolute scorcher of a fight between Loveness and Bongs of the Ferrari. Bongs looking to improve. Bongs had started from the absolute back of the grid, fought his way up to P7 on a set of medium tires, and now has to think about Loveness, who is absolutely giving nothing away. Ooh, goes slightly wide, does Bongs into that right-hander. And Seaflay sets another fastest time as DRS is enabled here. What can you do, Loveness? You're 2/10 behind him. What can you do? You have DRS, Loveness, on Bongs. Can you get that move done into that turn? No! Almost side by side, but not quite. Ooh, look at that move. He's almost side by side now. And Bongs has lost that position to Loveness, who gets that move done. Let's check in on another battle between Mello the Mello and Josh. He has given absolutely nothing away. Mello not letting that gap stretch any further than 4/10 of the past couple of laps, but now he's down to just a 10th, and he has got right into the slipstream and looks to go outside. Will he get that move done? He's punching that ERS. He gets that move done before that chicane there, and what a move it was for Mello the Mello into P4, past Josh, on one of Josh's favorite tracks, but knowing Josh, he will not sit back and take that. He is looking to fight back immediately. Is Josh. What a battle we have there between those two. Bongs, meanwhile, has retaken that P7 spot from Loveness, who was fighting back once again. Oh, but look at that! It's now almost 3 cars are going side to side there with the Aston Martin, and it looks like the Rebel of Lungs there getting involved into this battle. So Loveness having a lot to think about behind him. He's not going to have it easy. He's going to have to put that trademark defense into his favor here. Again, will Loveness, what a fight that is between those, and Josh is falling back here. Looks to have lost, of course, that position earlier to Mello the Mello, but now looks to be, D-Wax, of course, has gone into the pits there. So that was, not necessarily a fight. But let's go back to the lead of this race. Seafley, in the 7th lap of 27, has extended that gap and has gone outside the DRS range of Titus. That gap now 1.1 seconds between P1 and P2. Tindo, what a job you have done to keep the rest of the pack further back from these top 2 fighting. Will we see another double McLaren pole, or rather another double McLaren podium here today? Well, we still have 20 laps to go, so no one will be wanting to make too many early predictions, as that D-Wax, who had gone into the pits, has opted for a set of hard tires. Now, we can presume, with a fair degree of, certainty, I suppose, that barring any surprises, D-Wax is going to look to take these set of hard tires all the way through to the end, as he now bears down on the Aston Martin of Man Ray in front of him. So D-Wax will look to fight his way, and D-Wax will know that all of these drivers will still have to come into the pits at some point. D-Wax will look to take full advantage here. Going for a very aggressive undercut is D-Wax, but let's go back to the battle. Oh, it looks like Tindo and Josh have come into the pits quite early here on lap 8 here. They've come into the pits. The McLaren and the Alfa Romeo here, and let's actually see what exactly they opt for as far as tires are concerned. Tindo has gone for a set of medium tires, and as has Josh. Of course, they were on those soft tires. Let's go back to Zotile now, who has fought his way all the way from the back of this grid to 5th place. 6-lap-old medium tires, and currently 3/10 between Zotile and Bongs in that Ferrari. Bongs has done a hell of a job keeping some of those midfield runners off his tail. Had a hell of a fight with the likes of Loveness, as we saw a little earlier, but Bongs looks to be struggling under the pressure, and looks to have slightly gone a little bit wide there. Zotile taking full advantage, goes on his outside of Bongs and gets that move done cleanly. Does Zotile. Zotile taking no prisoners, taking no chances, and Zotile knows that those front 3 runners in front of him will pit in front of him. So how far can Zotile take these set of medium tires? What do you think? Can Zotile go all the way? It is only lap 8 of 27 on a very fast French Grand Prix circuit. Bongs is gone. Bongs has crashed out of this race. We've lost Bongs, who was fighting with Zotile a mere seconds ago. Bongs has crashed, bringing out the 2nd safety car of this race. Bongs becomes the 3rd driver out of the French Grand Prix here on Brakeaway F1. And Seafley, in typical championship-leading fashion, takes full advantage and goes into the pits. Seafley pits for a set of medium tires. Mello the Mello pits for a set of hard tires. Well, which lets us assume that Mello will not be pitting again for the rest of this race. Mello seems to be trusting his ability to carry these tires, presumably, to the end of the race, barring any, hectic surprises. But what a recovery from Zotile from a nightmare crash at the start of this race. The safety car was brought out, of course, earlier. Zotile lost a wing, had to change a wing, had to fight his way all the way from the back of the grid. Zotile finds himself in 2nd place in that Red Bull. Seafley, who's taken full advantage of the safety car, is now in 3rd place. Here is your grid as things stand in the 9th lap of 27 here in France. Titus in the McLaren is currently leading the race on 8-lap-old soft tires. Zotile follows closely behind on a set of medium tires, 7-lap-old. Seafley took advantage of the safety car to pit and has a fresh set of medium tires to take full advantage of these older sets of the drivers around him. Selby currently sits in 4th place. Selby, one of the most consistent, one of the most clinical drivers as far as not making too many mistakes, not keeping things clean in his races, currently sits in P4. Lungs is in 5th place in this race. Mello the Mello has opted for a set of hard tires, presumably never to pit again in this race. What can Mello do with these set of hard tires? Well, we would love to see how you fare. Tindo in the McLaren, who did a stellar job keeping the midfield back from that top 2 scrap earlier on, is currently in P7 on a set of medium tires. Josh, aka D-Amnesia. Oh, whoa, what the heck was that between Man Ray and Loveness? Whoa. Looks like he might have been coming in a bit too hot here. Have they lost the wing, I wonder? Well, Man Ray seems to have slid all the way down to the back here. What the heck was that between Man Ray and Loveness? Well, Josh now P8, Loveness is P9. Do you have a wing there, Loveness? Looks like you. Well, coming into the pit, yeah, it looks like they definitely might have overshot their, attempts to catch up there and now have to pit and lose all those places. D-Wax is currently 9th as a result of those cars pitting, but we'll just wait for those for that order to sort itself out. So before we carry on, D-Wax currently 8th then. Spice also is also in a lap on a set of hard tires, I beg your pardon. Nicholas is currently 10th in that Mercedes. Man Ray currently 11th. Titus has opted to pit here, changing the lead from himself and giving it to Zotile in that Red Bull. So currently P12. Titus's potential fight all the way back to all the way through this grid, potentially, if he manages to get it done. That'll be exciting to see if you can do that. Titus currently P12, and Loveness, having had that incident just now, has pit for second soft tires, surprisingly. Currently in P13 there. Very surprising choice there from Loveness. But as you can see in the background there, Zotile leads from Seaflay, who is on that new set of medium tires. Hey, Zotile is racing, says Lungello in the comments. Let's go Red Bull, screams Mazbano once again. One of Red Bull's biggest fans here. And Zotile is fighting, said Gaboz a little bit earlier. And Ben Kobe said that, well, it could have been a mistake from Titus that he hadn't pitted when the likes of Seaflay and them had pitted. Eventually, Titus, well, he conceded and pitted under safety car conditions to take himself all the way to P12. So Titus has a heck of a fight on his hands as we are now watching Zotile here, who has had an interesting season, currently second in the championship. Zotile sits on 263 points in this championship. Composer says he should have followed Seaflay, presumably we're talking about Titus there. Zotile sits second in the championship. If he can somehow hang on to this lead, Zotile will hoover up those 25 points, and oh, how crucial they become as we look towards the final races of this breakaway season. Welcome, if you've just joined us. This is Tier 1 of Breakaway F1. These are our top tier drivers in this Formula 1 racing league. Zotile leads as we wait for the safety car to come back in. Well, and it has gone in, and we are now watching Zotile absolutely send it down that straight. Seaflay not taking any chances, just half a second the gap between these top two runners. Seaflay has fresher tires, newer tires does Seaflay have, and we're going to watch this battle closely. Further down the grid, Josh has slid all the way down to the back of the grid, so there must have been some sort of an incident there, but we are watching these top two drivers battle it out. Older tires, the age gap is about 7 laps between these tires. Zotile with the disadvantage as far as that is concerned. What can Seaflay do here? He is just 3/10 behind as Selby follows closely behind here. What does it look like from Seaflay's perspective? Let's take a look at what Zotile's gearbox looks like. Will we see those red lights flashing? Well, not yet. And it looks like Seaflay is not pushing hard as far as the battery is concerned, as you can see. keeping things nice and clean. Just the tenth between these two. Becomes really, really close to Zotile, making sure that he's not giving away an inch here. But Seekly, what can you do? Can you take full advantage here? Into the slower corner goes Zotile. This third, into the final, of course, the final sector here. About to go into the final corner and into that straight. This is quite likely where we might see Seekly pushing that battery, and yes, he did a little bit, but he's still looking to spare some of that battery. Maybe Seekly is saving the battery because he anticipates going into the lead and needing it to stretch that gap. Perhaps that is Seekly's thinking, well, you are going to have to fight for that lead. Zotile is not going to give it to you that easily, and he is keeping Seekly at bay superbly here into this 12th lap. Hardly going wide, hardly going, breaching those track limits is Zotile, and Seekly is keeping things absolutely tight over there. Another battle looks like Zotile was giving Seekly a lot to think about there. But Seekly knows that if he can just keep things as tight as they are right now, the DRS will soon be open and he can take full advantage here. You can see he's hardly going below 80% on the battery. Is Seekly only hitting that battery when he needs to inch back into within 2/10 of Zotile. Zotile knows. Zotile is watching his mirrors closely, but he's keeping his cool absolutely here. What a fight it is between these top two runners. Zotile really not making Seekly work for this potential lead. He's not inch. He's pretty much not going to hand this lead on a platter. He's not opening up that inside line into some of those corners. He's not going too wide into some of the faster corners, and Seekly is keeping things nice and steady. What do things look like as far as Zotile's battery is concerned? 71%. The DRS has been enabled, and Zotile has not used up too much of his battery to make sure that he keeps out of this this absolute chase here from Seekly. So what an effort it has been from Zotile here. Just 2/10 between these two, as the Amnesia Josh sets a 133.6 on a set of medium tires. Josh trying to fight back. He had, of course, lost all of that momentum and had potentially a decent haul of points, but now he has the fight of his life in his hands. Let's see how Mello is doing in his fight against Lungs. Mello on a set of hard tires. This is a mini train between Lungs, Mello, and Tindo. Lungs on mediums, Mello on hard tires, going on the outside, and gets that move done on a set of hard tires, opening up that rear wing of Mello, and now Lungs has to think about Tindo, who was fighting very, very hard to reignite that scrap between himself and Mello, getting that move done cleanly. Does Mello. Meanwhile, at the back of the grid, Titus has the fight of his life in his hands, currently fighting between himself and Nicholas there. Let's come back to the battle for the lead of this race. It's lap number 13 of 27. What a race it's been between these top two drivers. Zotile, 11-lap-old medium tires. Seekly, 4-lap-old medium tires. A fresher set of tires. DRS has been enabled. Can you get this move done? Zotile weaves to the right, trying to break that slipstream. Seekly comes back into it, keeping that following distance nice and close, but not close enough to take advantage at that first turn, as Zotile makes sure that he does not give an inch here. What a defense has been from Zotile on those older tires. Seekly, you know you're going to have the fight of your life here. Man Ray seems to have disconnected. Laments Caposa in the comments section. Yeah, that is unfortunate. So these drivers will have to contend with the ghost of Man Ray. And as these two were battling out, Mello, who had fought to get into this P4 position, is now looking to take full advantage of Selby, as the battle between Seekly and Zotile is concluded with Seekly getting that move done finally on Zotile, who now has a hell of a battle on his hands to get that back. And look at that difference in battery. Seekly sitting on 70%. He did not use too much of that battery to take that move, to get that move done on Zotile. And Zotile currently sitting on 35%. Of course, he was defending for his life, but knowing Zotile, he now has that bit between his teeth and looking to bite right back with just 4/10 separating these top two drivers. What a battle it's been between these two. Mellow the Mellow is looking to take full advantage now. A little further back on Selby, whose teammate Damnesia has slipped all the way back to P12. But what can Mellow the Mellow do here between himself and Selby? The gap just 3/10, 4/10 into these slower corners. The final stretch as he looks to hopefully get this move done. Can you get it done on this straight? Mellow the Mellow, what does it look like from your perspective? Mellow the Mellow, he's gone on the outside. Will he have the inside line? Mellow gets the move. He's on the outside, side by side, and he gets the move done on Selby. Absolutely fantastic. Scorching from Mellow the Mellow. They had mentioned in the comment section that Mellow is pretty quick on this track. Mellow is not to be trifled with on this track, and on those set of hard tires, Mellow will not be looking to pit for the rest of this race. He will have something to say as far as this race win is concerned, potentially. But he has 4 seconds or 5 seconds to gain before he has anything to say as far as these runners are concerned. Just 6/10 the gap between Seaflay and Zotal. What a battle it's been between these top runners and between a lot of people in the midfield, as Zozo racks up a 5-second time penalty for corner cutting and gaining a place. Nice racing, says Composer in the comment section. Absolutely scorching. We absolutely agree here on Breakaway F1. Let's see how other championship contender Titus is doing. He's had a heck of a battle to make his way back into this into the points here. As Composer was saying, Nick crashes in the comments. Nick seems to be still running steadily here. But Titus has fought his way. He had pitted later than the others under the safety car, and is currently fighting for that P7 position from Zozo. What a race we've had. What battles we've had all the way through this grid here. If you've just tuned in, welcome. This is Breakaway F1. My name is Bob O'Connor. This is our Tier 1 race, the 19th leg of our season here at Circuit Paul Ricard in France. And we are currently watching Zotal and Seaflay battle it out for that P1 position. Zotal going slightly wide, as you saw a few seconds ago there, and he's now trying to recover that gap that has set up between himself and Seaflay. He is in the slipstream. Seaflay taking no chances. Zotal has had to push that battery. As you can see, just 24% of battery power left for Zotal here. So quite a lot of work to do in the 16th lap of 27. Will this be a long, medium stint before Zotal opts for a set of soft tires? We will see, as Zotal's teammate Lungs racks up a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings here. Let's take a look at how things look as far as penalties are concerned. As you can see, Lungs has 6 seconds worth of time penalties. Spice also currently 5 seconds of time penalties. Loveness has 3 seconds, as does D-Wax and Damnesia, as Zotal goes past the Ghost of Memory there. And Nicholas has 6 seconds worth of time penalties. Tindo in P12, 3 seconds worth of time penalties. What a fight it's been here. What an absolute scrap. We are watching things from the perspective of Zotal, who had the lead and held off Seaflay for a fair few laps. Ooh, looks like Seaflay was slightly sliding a little bit there. But Zotal has his eagle eyes right on Seaflay's tail. Less than a second the gap between these. Zotal is within DRS on much older set of medium tires. Just 10 laps to go. Who do you expect to take this race win? As we go towards the end, we'd love to hear who your driver of the day is as well. What a race we have had here as we watch these top 2 runners battle it out. Now, your grid currently, as things stand, we have Seaflay in the lead of this race, 7/10 of a second ahead of Zotal, as D-Wax has crashed out on those hard tires, and it is only a virtual safety car. Virtual safety car, not a full safety car, perhaps to the detriment of others. Zotal is keeping within DRS on much older tires, says Composer in the comment section. Indeed, what a drive it is from Zotal here. Virtual safety car, Bongs, or rather D-Wax, is the 4th driver we have lost after losing Romeo and Fundo Bonds and earlier in this race. Virtual safety car, they have to slow down, of course, and in these conditions, Seaflay decides, hey, you know what? I am going to pit. Zotile decides to carry on with these these older set of medium tires. Seaflay, what will you do in the pits? Presumably a set of soft tires? Oh yes, Seaflay has opted for a set of soft tires. Zotile did not pit. 16-lap old medium tires is Zotile. And another story of today, Mellow the Mellow has no need to pit on those set of hard tires, but will come under pressure from those soft tire runners who are currently in the pits. So, yeah, it will be an absolute scrap for the likes of Mellow the Mellow and Spizozo on those older set of hard tires. The DRS has been enabled once again as we take another look at how your grid looks here today. Zotile on those 16-lap old medium tires currently leads this race in the 18th lap of 27. Mellow the Mellow on hard tires is currently second place. Spizozo sits in P3. Titus has fought all the way from the back of the grid to P4 as things stand. But Titus will have to contend with Seaflay on a set of soft tires. Seaflay to win it, says Lungello in the comments. Do you agree? We would love to know. Amnesia, Josh, currently in 6th place. Selby in 7th place is on a brand new set of medium tires. Loveness had pitted for a set of soft tires. Lund's currently on hard tires, is in P9. Nicholas has also pitted in that Mercedes and is in P10, I beg your pardon. Tindo is in P11, and Man Ray is currently at the back of the grid. The ghost of Man Ray, let's say. And Zotile blinks and pits for a set of soft tires. But where will you come out, Zotile? Where will you come out? Will Spizozo pass you? It seems that he will. Will Seaflay pass you? It seems that he will. Zotile, having pitted later, will now be behind Amnesia. That will be Josh as things stand. So, Zotile, you have a hell of a fight on your hands to potentially even make the podium as things stand. None of those drivers will give it to Zotile. How do you see the rest of this race panning out? Oh, we would love to hear your thoughts. Let us know in the comments. Mellow the Mellow in the Mercedes currently leads this race on a set of hard tires. Can he do it? 10-lap old hard tires, as is Spizozo, just 7.5 seconds behind him. Ooh, can they get it done? Oh, Titus getting that move done on Spizozo nice and quickly, cleanly, clinically does Titus get that P2 position. Seaflay says, yeah, I think I'll say take a butt. Yeah, I'll take a bath out of this. Thanks, Spizozo. Yeah, just to give me some remix side to the side, and he gets that move done. And he's back in the podium places is Seaflay. Spizozo not exactly letting them go without a fight. He's keeping things nice and tight, nice and close to these guys. And Seaflay goes slightly wider than Titus here. And Seaflay is looking to get past Titus. Quick sticks, quick fashion here. Can he get it done? Cool. Well, instead of soft tires, much more grip does Seaflay has as compared to those older medium tires that Titus is currently running. Can you get that move done as we are about to begin lap 21 of 27? He opens up those rear wings, but he cannot get that done. Titus defends. He makes Seaflay think again. You will not get this done. You shall not pass, says Titus, as emphatically as Gandalf in the first Lord of the Rings film. But Seaflay is on those newer set of medium tires. What a drive it's been from some of the hard tire runners. Ooh, slightly sliced this Titus, and that'll be opportune enough moment for Seaflay to take full advantage and get that P2 spot. Now, he is hunting down Mellow the Mellow with just 7 seconds between P1 and P2. Titus is not gonna go down without a fight. It's Tuesday action night right here on Breakaway F1, but he has gone slower through that chicane, and that gap extending now a second, give or take, between those runners. Well, what a race we've seen here. The gap is now 7/10 between these two, with just 7 laps to go, soon to be 6. Is the 6-second gap enough? Can Mellow the Mellow maintain this gap? Can Mellow the Mellow keep these other top runners off his back. He has just 19% worth of battery. Seaflay has just turned into the straight. Seaflay just saw Mellow the Mellow sailing into the horizon there. Can he maintain this? Well, time will tell, as it looks like a little bit of a scrap between these two, between Titus and Spizozo for a second there, but Titus maintaining that P3 spot, and Zotal, as you saw a second ago, setting the fastest time. Zotal has a hell of a fight on his hands if he's going to have anything to say as far as these podium places are concerned. Zotal in the Red Bull, currently in 5th place, had a nightmare start, losing the front wing, and has had to battle his way up and down the grid here as Zotal. A lot of work still to do here with just 6 laps to go. Who has been your driver of the day? Let us know in the comments section. Woo! Gabozo was saying in the comments, talking to Langello, that the soft tires run out quickly here, and 10 laps is a long time. There's a long way to go on a set of soft tires. Does that mean advantage Mellow the Mellow here as Tindo racks up a time penalty? Oh, let us know what a drive has been for Mellow the Mellow. Seaflay has managed to trim that gap down. It was around 7 seconds, and with almost 5 laps to go, the gap is now around 4 seconds between P1 and P2. Seaflay taking no prisoners, staring down that final straight. Will Seaflay soon with 27% worth of battery. He is pushing it inch by inch. Is Seaflay trying to make gains on Mellow the Mellow, who has kept that gap at about 4 seconds. Let's see how Zotal fares in his battle against Spizozo. He gets the inside line before this turn, and he gets that move done nice and clean. Fighting, sparring, punching back is Zotal. Can you recover to get a possible podium place? Ooh, well, you got your work cut out. You have Titus, a master of tire management, in front of you. Who are keeping him in P3. What can you do here, Zotal? Spizozo, you have fought hard today, but those hard tires really maybe struggling a little bit here. Struggling to keep some of these fresher, these softer running tires off your back here. But let's take a quick look at the entire grid of how things look in lap 22 of 27. Mellow the Mellow leads in the Mercedes, 3.3 seconds ahead of Seaflay in the Ferrari, who has been slowly, steadily chipping away at that gap. Can he close it before the end of this race? Time will tell. Titus is 3 seconds behind Seaflay in P3, and Titus has to think about Zotal, who has slowly been chipping away at that gap, slowly been inching his way up this grid here. Zotal in that Red Bull currently sits 4th place. Spizozo on a set of hard tires, currently in 5th place. Selby, Mr. Consistent, Mr. Clinical, Mr. Keeping things nice and steady for Alfa Romeo in 6th place. Loveness is currently in 7th place. Josh, aka D'Amnesia, who's had a dramatic race, great qualifying session, but finds himself P8 currently. Lungs is in 9th place as things stand. Nicholas is 4 seconds behind in 10th, and Tindo is currently 11th in that McLaren. And the ghost of Man Ray haunts Circuit Paul Ricard. Or is Man Ray back in control here? Let's take a look. Yes, it seems Man Ray has reestablished connection, and he's back in P12 here as things stand. Let's take another look at the lead. What a drive has been from Mellow the Mellow. He has to do this. At the end of this lap, Mellow the Mellow will have to keep this up for 3 more laps. Can you do it? Well, Langello says Zotal gets driver of the day if he gets on podium. And as things stand, Zotal is fighting against Titus for that podium spot. What a recovery drive it's been from Zotal, who suffered a nightmare start, losing that wing earlier on in this race, and now is staring down the gauntlet. It's staring down Titus, who goes much slower, or rather Zotal breaks later into that right-hander, and now that gap is just 0.3. I can smell the fumes from the engine, probably is thinking Zotal, but this is not just anyone you're chasing down, it is Titus, Titus, which have kept him in absolute contention for a great race. But remember, Titus has racked up a time penalty of 3 seconds, but can you get this move done and not rely on the time penalty? With the red light flashing, Zotal goes side by side with Titus, and we'll have the inside line into this first turn. He gets the advantage, but no, Titus sends him out wide, but Zotal is fighting here. What a battle it's been between Titus and Zotal, but Zotal comes out taps in P3, 4 seconds behind Cifle. He fought his way from the back to a possible podium place if he could keep this up. Zotal, what a scorcher of a drive that is from you. And going back to the possible race lead here, Cifle has been chipping away at this gap between himself and Mello the Mellow in P1. He currently sits 2 seconds behind Mello the Mellow, who, according to Scripto Titan, aka the 86er, who reckons that Mello the Mellow has been the driver of the day. With just 3 laps to go, do you agree with the 86er? Has Mello the Mellow been the driver of the day? We would love to hear your thoughts. What a drive it's been from Mello the Mellow here on a set of hard tires as we take a look at those details here. 15-lap-old hard tires. The gap 1.8 seconds between these two now. Can he keep it up? To Bang in the comments, it's rough tonight. Indeed it is. We're out here in France, the 19th leg of this Breakaway Tier 1 season. What a scorcher of a race here. The time penalties are racking up. It's a time penalty shootout. It feels like the spirit of Tier 2 is here in this, as far as time penalties are concerned. Bankobi in the comment section says, Cifle's tires may drop any time from now. Those soft tires, of course, are not exactly most ideal. The closer you get to 10 laps of running those soft tires, but Cifle is on 7-lap-old soft tires on those tires. Now, let's give you a sense of how things have changed as Bankoli Composer requests that you get a sense of how things have panned out since the start of this race. The biggest mover has been Spyzozo, gaining 10 places up to P5, and gaining 5 places since this race has started has been Loveness. And another big mover, of course, has been Selby, and the likes of Mello the Mellow, who currently sits in that P1 spot. 4 places gained has Luns as well as Nicholas, and Tindo has lost 6 places. As you can see, one of the big losers as far as the grid position is concerned. What a race, says Andile Twala, aka Twitch, the superstar Haas driver of our Tier 2 league, who you can see in action tomorrow here on this very channel at 7:30. Cifle is within DRS now. He has got that gap all the way down to just 6/10. What a recovery it's been, taking full advantage of the mistakes that were being made potentially as far as Mello the Mellow is concerned. But look at that, his battery is down to just 17%. Mello's battery is flashing here. So, what a race we have had here. Could this be a final lap overtake? Mello must defend, screams Ban Kobe in the comments section. Can Mello the Mellow get this done? Ooh, into this slow right-hander they go as we get this brilliant, beautiful helicopter view. Just 4/10 between these two now. 27% is the battery power held by Cifle. He was looking to get a sniff on that inside. Ooh, can he get it done? He's very, very close here. He's going to look to get that move down into the slow. Oh, yes. Mello holds him back. He somehow holds it back. Oh, but what kind of battery? He has less than 10% worth of battery power. Cifle, can you get this move done on this final lap? Mello the Mellow, can you get a memorable, absolutely historic race win as far as this season is concerned? Well, time will tell what a fight it's been between these two and Zotal, who is just 4 seconds from getting a bite into this cherry here. Mello, you can do this, boy. Go, Mello the Mellow, says the people in the comment section. Definitely one of our scorching drivers of the day as we are about to begin this final lap, fighting for the lead here. Could Mello the Mellow walk away with 25 points in this championship? We will see. The rear wing of Cifle opens up. He has DRS, of course, and it'll be now a case of not making any mistake whatsoever from these drivers here. Red light is flashing. That battery power is gone. If only you had, Mellow the Mellow, but you do have a sterling driving acumen. You do have a racer's brain. You do have an absolutely incredible record of managing your tires in this race here as Seaflay slips into your slipstream and goes on the outside here. Will he get that move done? Because he's got DRS. He finally gets that move done. On the final lap, he gets that move done. Going into this final sector, Mello concedes the lead of this race to Seaflay. But now, Mello will have DRS here. With just 5/10 between these two drivers, can you somehow get it done? They do not have a penalty, these drivers. They will absolutely have to fight it out for the rest of this lap. No mistakes whatsoever. He trims it down to 4/10, to 3/10, and again it stretches to 5/10 into the final two corners. They go. Oh, what a fight it's been between these two. From Mello the Mello's perspective, he can smell the fumes from the back of that car. He can see that red light almost flashing, and Seaflay goes into the final straight of the French Grand Prix and takes the race win here in France. 27 lap out of 27. The championship protagonist, Mello, gets P2. Zotal fights back to get that third place from Titus with Amadeira Waka in P4. Spizoso gets that fifth place. Selby in sixth. And as things currently stand, what a race it's been here in France. Circuit Paul Ricard, and he gets that sixth place. Loveness fights to get that seventh spot here. And Tindo will grab ninth spot. Nicholas will be in 10th. Lungs seemingly 11th, but of course we have to see how the penalties pan out. What a drive we saw from Mello the Mello, who was driver of the day according to some of you. What a drive, what a recovery from Seaflay to win this race, to take full advantage as far as the championship is concerned, and let us see how the rest of the grid looks once the time penalties are sorted out. Well, what a day, what a race. Oh my goodness, this has been an absolute scorcher of a race. Breakaway F1, these drivers, these superstars are back on Thursday. That Seaflay and Titus battle, though, exclaims the 86er. What a battle it was. Absolutely scorching. I respect Seaflay's strategies. Beke or Beak, says the Bang Mguni in the comments. Mello was definitely my driver of the day, says Lungello. Serious hammer time by Seaflay. What a battle it was. Yeah, that, and Kasana here really talking about that scorcher of a battle. I have absolutely knocked over my cup of lemon tea, I will tell you here. What a drive, what a race we have had, oh my gosh. As the first driver to join us in the commentary box here, he hopped straight out of that scorcher of a drive into the commentary box. Congratulations, Seaflay. What a fight, what a battle. P1, how does that feel?
It feels good. I'm getting closer to actually winning the championship, which is what I'm actually focusing on.
And from your perspective, you had to take advantage, you took full advantage of some of the safety cars, which presumably affected the times that you kind of pitted. Were you concerned in terms of your soft tires towards the end of this race there? How did that feel? And how on earth did you manage to reel Mello in and get that move done?
Mello was rapid. He was on old hards, I was on new socks, and that gap took a while to close.
Yeah.
Towards the end, I started sliding, and I saw he still had great amounts of grip.
Yeah.
So Mello was very quick.
Great amount of
some crazy strategy.
Yeah, great amount of grit and an absolutely Hall of Fame performance from Mello the Mello on a set of hard tires. Congratulations, welcome to the podium. Many people were cheering for you in the stands, in this comment section. What a drive. How does that feel, and how on earth did you get that fantastic race done, Mello?
Yo, what's up, bruh? You know, it hits different when you lose the gap in the lead in the last lap.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Yeah, but I just decided to go with something different because I figured if I'm fighting Zotal, Titus, and Seaflay, they're going to pit. for mediums. I saw them go in the mediums. I'm like, I have nothing to lose, so let me go in the hards,
Yeah.
And yeah, man, the rest is history.
Yeah. We were sorry to see how heartbreaking that was for you at the end of this race here. So many people commending the way that you absolutely dominated those tires and absolutely had a say here at the sharp end of this race. We wanted to ask how difficult it was to kind of manage them, particularly when they were still new. Did you struggle for grip at all?
Honestly, this was a very good tire. The first part, because I saw the long run, right? So the first couple of laps I took it easy, but I had pressure from Tindo, I think, at some point. So I had to make a move on, I think it was Selby. Then once I made the overtake on him, I took it easy. I saw Zotile and Sihle, they were like 6 seconds ahead. So I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna go faster, I'm not gonna go slower, I'm just gonna maintain, because as soon as they box, then I have 18 seconds. So that's what I did. I saw them pit, but I think my downfall came with the virtual, because they pit under virtual safety. So they ended up saving time. Instead of me being 18 seconds ahead, they were like 8 seconds ahead. So there was a point Sihle was 8 seconds behind, and 8 laps to go. So I'm just like, no, I can do this. But as it got closer, the tire just could not go faster. It just couldn't. So it is what it is, man. I'm freaking gutted.
Unlucky boy.
Man,
it's coming, man, boy.
It's definitely coming. Those performances that you've been putting up pretty much from approaching the midpoint of the season up until now, we've definitely been seeing like a consistency at the sharp end, both in qualifying and in the race performances. So we definitely know that race win is coming soon. Zotao, congratulations to you. You made your way all the way back from the back to this podium. What exactly happened to make you lose your wing, and how exactly did you end up reclaiming that podium spot?
Tough race. A very unfortunate start again. At the first turn, I think it was Sihle in front, Titus, we were alongside each other. Tried to stick it in the inside. Titus braked later than I did, so I hugged the inside line. When Titus was turning right again, I think I had taken, since I was hugging the inside line, I took that turn better than he did and accelerated, not noticing obviously that he's gonna take a bit of time for him. So I literally bumped him at the back. Solidly racing incident, so I broke a wing and had to go to the back. Second stint of mediums, I think that was my favorite stint of the race. I pushed those mediums. At some point I was racing to Sihle. Sihle had the new compound. I was actually willing to push them until he pit. But that virtual safety car, I think he capitalized the most. I thought of taking the mediums to the end, but that was not going to happen. So I was like, you know what, rather now than later. So shortly after the virtual safety car went out, I pit for the softs, and you saw the advantage that Sihle got there, obviously. With the 5 second gap. Nice race by Melo. I actually thought he was gonna be able to hold the hard bites. Unfortunately, Sihle was rapid. I don't know how Sihle feels, but I think the sauce are also dying out towards the end, because I feel Titus was also catching up on me a bit, but I think I was comfortable with Titus because he had a 3 second penalty. Nice recovery. I'm happy with that. I'll take it. But noting the championship, Sihle is running away with it. So on to the next one. Mello the Mellow, what are your targets for the rest of the season? And well, can I go out on a limb and say that we could expect you to be among the challengers for next season's championship?
You know what? No one races for fun. No one races just to be next to one another and hug each other. We're all here for the grand prize, which is the championship. So we're going for it, man. We're taking no prisoners. I feel like I've brought it to the top 3, the annoying top 3. So I think it's time. I think it's time we rename it now to the top 4.
To the top 4. That's
it. I'm genuinely annoyed by this guy. So it's time it ends, man. It should end.
But Melo, why were you denying that you're gonna be quick? I saw it.
Honestly, I don't know, man. Something just clicked today. Because I didn't go to work today, so at like 9 a.m. I did a lap and something clicked, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is what it is. Let's move on, man. It's racing. It's racing. So
Canada next. Penalty Haven.
Cannot wait. What a drive it's been from all 3 of you. Thank you so much for amazing entertainment. This is honestly one of our top races from all of you here, and we really appreciate it. We cannot wait to see you in Canada on Thursday. The likes of Titus has been congratulating you in the comments. People sending their shout outs to you, Mello, saying sorry for that last lap, but equally congratulations to Sikle for an amazing drive, and Zotal for that recovery. Thank you so much. This has been Breakaway F1. We will see you on tomorrow for Tier 2 racers in Canada, and these superstars are back on Thursday. Thank you, everybody. Have a fantastic evening. Good night.
Shut up.